Hey, what's up guys? John here. Nile Niami is, in my opinion, one of the most significant residential real estate developers throughout Los Angeles. He's built some of the most profound properties and really raised the standard throughout the city. When people hear that he's doing a project, everybody's paying attention to it. And what I believe right now, he's going through a bit of a situation. He's getting foreclosed on. It's the most expensive home in America in foreclosure, a whopping $165 million mortgage, $165 million mortgage. Take a look at what these monthly payments would be. On a 30-year loan, $787,000 a month. If it's a 20-year loan, it's $1 million a month. And if it's a 10-year loan, it's $1.67 million per month. That does not include property tax. Just the carrying cost in facilitating the utilities and the landscaping and keeping that property up to par is probably going to cost you a couple $1,000,000 a year. He's really thinking huge, and he's going to get a lot of heat for what's happening. But in my opinion, it's people like him that raise the standard and make people think what's possible. Now, he may go through a real big situation coming up soon, but what I think will happen is that I think that he will most likely come back from this situation and become a better developer than ever before. And I think that there's so many lessons to be learned in successful people that really try to break the status quo. Is generally they will break it, or if they don't break it, they'll learn valuable lessons and come back with those lessons and succeed. Well, some of these properties are absolutely incredible, and I really do admire people that don't pretend to be somebody else. That's a really big problem that we have, I believe, in America, is that everyone's looking up to somebody else as the standard and what they want to achieve. And it's very few people that don't look to anybody and they look inside of their soul and ask themselves what they want to do and who they are. He built this house here for Floyd Mayweather for $26 million. He sold it to him. This is 2017. This is a while ago. But Niami, a former Hollywood producer and also a developer of a 74,000 square foot hilltop spec home in Bel Air that he plans to put on the market next year for $500 million. A lot of delays with the property, but I mean, these delays, when we look at what happened with the pandemic, with everything that's going on, it takes a long time to get materials, long time, and the cost has increased greatly for lumber and appliances. Everything is just taking longer and it's more expensive. But he then got into a situation on this property, Opus, which is in Truesdale. It's a very prestigious community in Beverly Hills, where the lender to take the property back for $38 million. He intended initially to sell that property for $100 million. Here's the property. So it's on Stradella. Stradella, this pocket of Stradella is very prestigious. So this is where the property starts, right here. It starts here. Jennifer Aniston, a lot of people live right in this community. Entry-level house here, you're talking on this block at least 50, 60 million bucks. I mean, it's still going. It's still going. And it's still going. Personally, it's not my cup of tea. I would rather have a large spread, a huge plot of land, just flat land with a massive estate on it. However, there's a lot of young money. There's a lot of young money right now that this would be exactly what they would want. This is like the ultimate bachelor lifestyle. Maybe someone that just hit it really big in crypto or in tech or in that space. However, Jeff Bezos just bought this property here, right where this is right here, where I'm highlighting over. The Playboy Mansion is right here. You have P. Diddy that lives right here. You have the Ecclestone Mansion that right here. That was actually initially the Candy Spelling Mansion. The Spelling Mansion that sold recently, I believe, like $160 million. And right here, a famous surgeon, 908 Bel Air Road, Raj Kanodia. This property here. And you have other developers that were all inspired by things that Nile Niami built. There's another property directly next door to this, the Bruce Makowsky estate that sold. I'll show you this house. this property here. And I believe this sold for $94 million. That sold for $94 million. So what is going on with this property here and why this is really important is a Los Angeles mega mansion, once expected to list for $500 million, has gone into receivership after the owner defaulted on more than $165 million in loans and debts, according to court filings. The 105,000 square foot Bel Air estate, known as The One, was placed into receivership by the Los Angeles County Superior Court and is expected to be relisted at a lower price in the coming months, according to people familiar with the property. The receivership marks a stunning reversal for The One and its flashy developer Nile Niami, who often touted the property as his life's mission and the biggest, most expensive home in the urban world. Expected to hit the market in 2017 with a price tag of $500 million, The One has been dodged by repeated delays, funding problems, changing strategies. The home stretches like an ultra-modern palace over 8 acres on a hilltop overlooking LA. It has 9 bedrooms, multiple kitchens, a nightclub, 4-lane bowling alley, salon, gym, 50-seat theater, a running track, and an underground garage for 50 cars with 2 auto turntables. Its 7 water features include multiple pools, a jacuzzi, and a moat that surrounds the house. The master bedroom is 4,000 square feet. Think about how big 4,000 square feet is. That's your bedroom. Every door in the house is electric, along with toilets. Nile Niami has planned a jellyfish room and ice bar, but both proved too costly. There's a lot of people out there with a lot of money, and they want something no one else can have, Niami said. That's it. Yet The One was one of dozens of spec mansions that rose in the hills of Bel Air and Beverly Hills after 2014, when fashion magnate Bruce Makowsky sold a spec mansion in Beverly Hills for $70 million and kicked off a new California real estate gold rush. The building boom and arms race, infinity pools, candy walls, art galleries, pool rooms led to a glut of real estate access. Many LA mega homes, including several built by Niami, wound up selling for far less than their asking prices. Even as prices were falling, Niami was loaded up on debt to finish and promote The One. Over the past 4 years, Niami and his related LLC, Crest Lloyd, have borrowed more than $165 million to build and sell The One, according to property documents. The largest lender is Henke Capital, founded by Los Angeles billionaire Don Henke, which has $115 million in loans on the property. Yogi Securities Holding, led by a doctor-turned-real estate investor, Joseph Ellengoff, has loaned The One over $36 million. 2 other entities, Inferno Realty and Maybach Corporation Holdings, have provided loans of $7 million each. The One also has $1 million unpaid taxes and debts from concrete and air conditioning and tool companies. Henke served Niami with both a notice of default in March. In July, the Los Angeles County Superior Court ordered the property to be placed in receivership and named Ted Lanes, the Lanes management, as the receiver. Under the receivership, a property that's defaulted is turned over to the court-appointed receiver who prepares the property for sale. In complex or large real estate projects, receiverships are often preferable to a foreclosure where the lender or bank seizes the property. Rather than taking over ownership and liabilities, which can add up to the risk and delays, the receiver gets the needed permits, completes the needed construction work, complies a list of creditors, and prepares the house for sale to pay off the lenders. A receivership also provides a notice period when lenders, creditors, and contractors who haven't paid can make their case. Once he gets the property permits and certificate of occupancy for The One, it will be listed, Lane said. This price and timing have yet to be determined, he said. What I would love to see happen is that the house gets completed, the certificate of occupancy is awarded, and we have the orderly sale that maximizes the value, he said. Oh, hopefully, there will be significant proceeds from the sale to fund and secure and unsecured creditors and for the equity to realize some value. Niami has been marketing The One for years with interviews and photos in the media, special video tours in April with YouTube personality Michael Blakely, who touted the $500 million property as the biggest and most expensive house in the world. Niami also talked about plans to turn the home into media stage and commercial ventures, using it to host a potential Netflix show and events and startup companies. Niami put his West Hollywood home into bankruptcy last year. And the spec mansion in Beverly Hills, which had marketed for $100 million, ended up selling for $38 million to Engelhoff. This is the property that I was just discussing. Niami had listing appointments for the one with these listing brokers, and the plan under the listing agreement had been to market the property for $288 million, but the ultimate listing price has yet to be determined. It's unclear whether the property will sell at a high enough price to pay all the debt. The most expensive home ever sold in LA was the former Warner estate, which sold to Bezos for $165 million. So it's this property right here. This is Bezos's property. Give you a better shot. So that's Bezos's property here. They go on to say, while the real estate market in Los Angeles has rebounded after the pandemic, especially at a high end, the one may prove difficult to sell at the asking price. It's not an easy property to price. It's truly unique. So he really swung the bat on this one. And whether it sells and the debtors, really the creditors get paid off and everything works out, which I hope does work out for them, one way or the other, there's so many valuable lessons to be learned through people like Nile Niami and other people that are really striving to break the status quo. So I hope he does sell this property. I wish him and this property all the success in the world. But if I wanted to be a residential developer in Los Angeles, I would want to go out to coffee with this guy. Because this person, a lot of people always want to talk about their successes, everything that's been so great, success is so great. But I believe some of the best lessons you can learn are failures, things that didn't work out. That way you can plan and strategize and look at things differently and take those valuable points and apply them to your own business strategy. What do you think about this property and the current pending situations going on? Do you think it will sell for $288 million or $300 million to where the creditors get paid out and there's money to be made? Or do you think that this property will not cover the debts? Drop your comments below. Curious as to what you guys think. Smash that like button. Subscribe here. Also consider subbing on my personal channel. I'll leave the link pinned down below in the top comment. I'll see you guys in the next video.